paradise torn apart by extreme weather. The British Virgin Islands suffered mass destruction after Hurricane Irma hit in September last year. 6 months on, and there's still a lot of repair work to be done. And a group of students from Newcastle have been doing their bit to try to help the islands recover. We'll speak to them in a moment, but first, here are some of the images they captured while working on the clean-up. Putting their backs into the work there, and I'm glad to say that Becky, Henry and Steph are here now. Becky, how did this happen? How did you end up in the British Virgin Islands?
Well, Henry and myself have been on holiday to the BVIs before with our family, and we've met a few of the locals while being there. So when the hurricane hit in September, we saw it on the news, and then a few days later we heard from people who were in contact with over there how bad the situation was, and we just really wanted to help. So we contacted and asked if we could help. And they said at that moment in time it wasn't possible because the destruction was so bad, but we could help out closer to Easter time, as there would be electricity and water. So we contacted again, and I got a group of people together and we went over.
So Henry, you'd been out previously on a holiday, so the contrast between seeing it then,
it was
obviously idyllic,
just completely different, disorientating. Like one day we went off to a different island, we got off the boat, there were just no trees, it was completely. We just didn't know where we were, basically. It was completely different.
Steph, were you prepared for what you might find when you arrived there? And the amount of work?
Yeah, I think to an extent we were quite prepared. We'd seen a lot of videos and photos from people that Becky and Henry knew out there. So we could kind of see just how bad it was. But I don't think anything will ever prepare you for going out and actually being there and seeing it all.
So what kind of tasks were you doing?
Well, so we started with some clear-ups. It was really hard work. We were collecting things like telephone poles, telephone wires, people's roofs just everywhere. So that was really difficult, but that was kind of what we started out with. And then in every afternoon we did swimming lessons with some of the local children. So we started with about 10 and ended up with about 70 as the word spread. And this is just, it was fantastic. We got to kind of show them what it was like to be in the water, because everyone, you wouldn't believe it living on an island, but they are absolutely terrified of the water.
Yeah, especially after the hurricane, because the water was obviously affected in the hurricane as well, and apparently the waves were just lapping up on the beach. So all the children have PTSD following the hurricane.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And every time there's strong winds or rain, we didn't witness it because we weren't in the classrooms, but they were hiding under the tables and they would cry. The week before we arrived, there'd been 30-mile-an-hour winds, and all the children were just terrified to go outside.
It's just something we don't appreciate. Yeah. And Henry, you were involved in rebuilding.
Yeah, I was. So I was helping out a local man called Chet, and he is a professional chef for the island, private chef, and he had all of his professional cooking gear in his old house that got destroyed by the hurricane completely. So that's effectively his whole business just gone. So me and the other Henry, we were helping him get his house back together and just give him a place for his family to stay, because he's still in the shelter at the minute.
Yeah.
So
I'm impressed. I am. Your parents must be really proud. You were only 16 when you went out, Henry.
Yeah.
Girls, you were 18.
Yes.
So that's incredible that you did that. Your parents were happy with you doing
Yeah,
that?
I think they were definitely worried back home because we couldn't contact them, but yeah, I think they're proud.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.